We read these words in Acts 13:36, when David has served God's purpose in his own generation, he fell asleep. His own generation, he fell asleep. Why are we alive today? Because we haven't fulfilled the purpose of God in our generation, in our world, in our circle of influence. We have an opportunity to say we're going to pick up the things that we've dropped in the past. Now, I recognize this morning that I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. I recognize that the platform and the ministry that Barbie and I have here, and Gareth as well, that we're standing on the shoulders of giants. I stand on the shoulders of, you've heard that phrase before, haven't you? You're probably thinking, if you stood on anyone's shoulders, Keith, I won't be a giant for very much longer. But I stand on the shoulders of the Sherwoods of this world, of the Hutchinsons, of the Greens, of the Pastor Anthonys, and so on and so forth. I recognize that, and don't take this the wrong way, or take it any way you want, really. I wonder for the generation that's coming up after us if they think that they're actually standing on the shoulders of the 7 dwarves. Someone's going to say, I'm not happy. Well, which one are you then? Because there's this, it's an old joke. But there's this sense in which our generation coming up after us should be able to see further than us, should be able to do more than us, because we create a new place, a new level for them to stand on, and they can see a further horizon than you and I can, because they stand in a place that we can't right now, because it's not given to our generation. But we must seize everything that is given to our generation. We need to live full and die empty. The heritage for our next generation should not be a permissive state. It should not be an Islamic nation, and it should not be a secular society. The heritage that we need to leave for our teenagers should be one where Christ is preeminent. Evolution is taught as history and not science in schools. And where the church is a force of transforming saltiness. That's what we should be aiming to leave. If the Lord tarries, my friends, that should be our goal. But if we have modeled spiritual mediocrity for the next generation, then the only hope will be, and the only prayer that generation will have, is, God, won't you send the fire? And I loved the worship this morning. I was just there. I felt limitations beginning to be shaken in this church, because we connect a bit with God and get a bit refreshed with God. And will it be like that next week? No, it'll probably be, well, who knows what it'll be, but hopefully a little bit more. God is doing something. You know, when Carolyn started singing that song, I thought, that's the song of the Lord over us, and there were prophetic words and things going on around the church. But you know, when rain comes, what it does is it raises the water table. And so what the Lord is doing is raising our water table. My friends, if we're going to say to the next generation, the only prayer that you're going to have is, Lord, you know, let the fire come, let the rain come, intervene. And actually, that's what actually happened in Abram's life. God intervened in Genesis 12, verse 1. The word of the Lord spoke to him. Why? Because he had to wait for the generation that had refused to carry on hearing God's word to die. And then the word of the Lord came to him. The problem I find, my friends, is that in my generation, we're the ones saying, Lord, won't you come? Won't you send the fire? Won't you do something? Won't you send a revival? Because we want to experience something that even Habakkuk said, Lord, won't you renew them in our days? Why? Because we have been in a situation where the church in this nation and Western Europe for decades has faithfully met and prayed, which is a good thing, has faithfully heard sermons, has faithfully filled itself up, but has abdicated its role in society. And so I find myself praying, Father, renew them in my days. But I want the generation following me to say, Lord, I'm used to walking in revival spirit, because that's just the way it is. Oh, this may not be scratching where it's itching this morning, but I'm going to scratch anyway.